言うことは一つだけ。絶対負けねえ。素早くパスを回そうとって無駄だ。
How's it going, everybody? This is Nothing Excess here, looking at the new Dream Collection Brolin. Brolin is the new Dream Collection unit. He has a high block, high intercept, and he comes with auto block enhance, which I have words about. Also, he comes in the same banner with Alan Pascal and Vulcan, the Harmonious super combo Pascal, and the Built Like a Wrestler Vulcan, which is the Red Dream Collection Vulcan, as the pickup characters. And obviously in a banner with a 5% drop rate. Now we have here Brolin. Brolin comes again, auto block enhanced. He comes with muscle intercept, which is a 450 pass cut, muscle block A, and rising tackle A. Very loaded on the defensive stats, so he's pretty interesting. Now auto block enhanced is 70%, which is pretty high, but again we'll dive deeper into that later. Now, as for Alan Pascal, you've seen him before. He's the intercepting auto-intercept Pascal, which is an 80% auto-intercept. Pretty interesting character who could play forward or attacking midfielder. And finally, we have Vulcan, Built Like a Wrestler, who is a red striker with a very good at high balls and pretty decent header and crit rate ×2. Now we're going to look at the probabilities, see what the actual chances of pulling characters in this banner are like. I've been actually taking a look at them, but we'll take a quick look at them as soon as it's loads. So we have 100 players available in the banner, which obviously Brolin, Vulcan, and Alan Pascal we have, and they're at 0.42 each, which is not very high. Masao and Kazuo, Chester and Margus, Kluivert and Robson, and Victorino, Salinas, Alberto, Akai, Soda, Gino, the Green Pascal, Espadas, Jito, Diaz, Matsuyama, the bad one, Oiron, Blue Vulcan, the red good Matsuyama, and Morisaki, and then everyone else is in here. It looks like I see the Netherlands players. I don't know where this banner goes up until, so we're gonna go all the way down and take a look. I see Mexicans, I see new players, so it ends at the middle school banner. So if you guys are interested, know that you go all the way up until the middle school banner, and I don't see Espadas here anywhere. So if you're interested in pulling, know that you can only go up to the middle school banner with this. Anyways, so let's actually take a look at what's going on here with the actual banner. We have Dream Collection Brolin. So first off, let's talk about Brolin Absolute Defense Focus. Now, my issue with this character is that Clap keeps trying to make auto block a thing, and auto block's not going to be a thing, okay? Here's a player though with an overtuned version of it. It's 70% out of the time it has activation rate, and the big problem there is that basically almost every shot that is made is an actual shot, and since it's an actual shot, you don't get the matchup bonus of guessing right if you were actually in a matchup. So it's very hard for you to actually get auto block to do anything without really leveling up your S block. So at the end of the day, what you end up having is you just have another green defender. Now, he's really high in block. He has 11,125 block and 10,462 intercept, which is kind of weird because he's a blocker that comes with an intercept by default. Also, he only has 169 stamina, which is not very good, and really low speed at 4,732. He's kind of a plodding character. And you're going to feel really bad limit breaking his speed. Now, one thing that I did not do here apparently is I did not put the limit break. And for me, the limit break would go something like this. So we're just going to fix that real quick. So now you see me just fix a video in the middle of the video. You know, that's the kind of life we're leading right now. That's how it's going. Sloppy, no editing. Hell with it. Anyways, limit break him on block and power and intercept and technique. That way you can maximize the two things he's really good at. You don't probably need that much speed, honestly, to be fair. Pros are that he's an excellent blocker and a pass cutter, obviously, so he's very hard to beat with a wide pass, so people are going to have to usually take the matchup against him. But that said, he can be coerced in such a way that if you don't play the formation right, he will get passed over by like a long distance pass that you may not really have any other options against. If he had been like an auto pass cutter, he would have been crazy good, but instead he's this. Anyways, so for cons, he doesn't really learn any offensive skills of note. It's going to be hard to dump the ball off elsewhere with him because he doesn't have good passing or dribbling or anything. Auto block really isn't that great despite of how high the activation rate is. And he comes with an A block despite being better at blocking than interception, so that's a thing that they did. As for his stats, he has 969 stamina, again, not too high. Kind of mediocre on offense, really high block and intercept, which means he has 11k block and 10.4k intercept. That's really nice. And his tackling, I mean, it's there. You'll occasionally use the tackle if you think it's going to go right, but for the most part, you're going to stick to what you're good at. As for his skill build, I would keep muscle intercept and maybe teach him the S muscle block. But really, the thing with the auto pass is that they use the highest skill available. I don't mean the highest level but the highest momentum. So teaching the S skill will always be worth it, at least in the beginning, because it'll be much stronger than the A until you level up the A. Now, that said, if you have the S power charge from the Dream Pop version, you can give him that instead of the S muscle block and level up A muscle block. Or you can replace A rising tackle with that S power charge. It's up to you. In situations like the Dream Cup, you'll kind of feel the limitations of trying to level up A muscle block and only using that, so you may still want to just give him S muscle block. It's so much easier. It's kind of strong from the get-go, and you can make it stronger. Anyways, this unit would have been so much better if they had just given him stand firm, but I don't know why Collab insists on this. Despite all of that, I still think he's an S rank unit, but I wouldn't go for broke for him unless you were hurting for a blocker in green, in which case, yeah, sure, go for it. So in some circumstances, I'd say maybe, but if you don't get him now, even if you kind of need him or you think you need him, I feel like maybe Dreamfest is a better option if you don't have Pure Misugi yet. So there is that. Anyways, we're going to move on to Vulcan, who's an older player. He is a forward and a defender with the role of striker. A long time ago, he was actually kind of terrifying because before you could apply any passive, or rather, I should say, if you ignore passive skills altogether, he has the highest header check in the game at 14,144. Because he has 11,176 shot and a very good at high balls. It's actually kind of he was actually really scary on release because of that. Now, even though there's units now that are just way better than that in general, like the Tachibanas, he's still pretty viable if he's the player you got because his headers are so strong. Especially if you could find a way to like really give yourself high balls. He's a dual position player. He has a respectable 10,146 block and no real ground shot, so you're going to have to find a ground shot to give him, like the A80 Vulcan Cannon or the S Vulcan Cannon from the regular SR version. That said, his team skill isn't really that impressive, and his passive is just critical rate ×2. And if there weren't so many other good red strikers, he'd be considered a lot better, but red is overabundant with strikers. Now, pros, really high shooting, so he can still score. He's very good at high balls, and it comes with a skill for it. He has 2 S aerial skills, one high, one low. Now, for his cons, he barely has any stamina. You'll see what I mean in a second. And he really can't do anything other than shoot and block. He's not in a really popular archetype. He's not like a European player or a Japanese player or a South American player. He's in Asia, and there's not really that many Asia buffs yet. So basically what you start with and the 30% that you can give him, almost guaranteed, maybe 35 if you have one of the twins sitting on the bench or next to him. That's pretty much what you're going to be able to give him. He's a red striker trying to compete for time basically with so many others. And he doesn't come with a ground shot, and the EX block isn't available anymore. So if you didn't get the X block or save it EX block, then you may not be able to give him a block. So you can't take advantage of his position flexibility. Now for his stats, again, 864 stamina, really bad. But his super high shot, pretty high block, and high power mean that he has 11,176 shot, 10,146 block. And one thing that people don't really recognize is that since he's very good at high balls, if you put him in the box to defend against high ballers on defense, he might be able to genuinely steal the ball and really deal with high baller users in the box, because 10k block and the EX block will probably be enough along with the high ball to deal with a lot of high ballers. So he's not just good at shooting with high balls, but also really good at defending with them. Now, as for his skills, S headed in is his air shot, his high ball, so you're going to keep that. S genie header is his quote-unquote volley, but it's just a diving header. I mean, obviously same height. And then you have S Vulcan cannon is what you should try to give him if you have the old crappy SSR version. A genie block EX if you have that event block somewhere lying around. Then just keep the high power tackle, because what else are you going to do? Now, if you can't get your hands on the EX block, but you for some reason have a dupe of the S block, you can give him that if you want, but I wouldn't recommend it too much. But anyway, he's a surprisingly flexible pick in forward or defense, depending on what you need at the time. So he might be like a super sub, honestly. And critical rate times 2 is nice, but there's gotcha units with better versions of that passive at this point, so who cares? And now, last but not least, Alan Pascal, Harmonious Super Combo. When this character was released originally and people looked at his stats, they were kind of alarmed because Blue didn't really have a whole lot of options when it came to cutting passives passively. And this guy came out with his 80%. He kind of solves the problem by himself with 10,954 interception, also pretty high. Crab Pincer interception is a pretty good skill that's priced at 370 stamina, and that's good. And if his average offensive stats were even a little bit better, he would actually be kind of crazy broken, but they're not. So for pros for him, I think honestly it's just that he's an impossibly good pass cutter. He has a great pass cut skill. He's 80% auto interception chance, is the highest in the game, and he's okay at passing and dribbling, but not great. But cons are that that's it. He can pass cut. Everything else is kind of whatever. And I think that every Dream Collection unit for this particular Dream Collection is very much a bunch of single-minded units who are very good at the one thing, and that's about it. For his limit break, I would give him speed 25 and then pass, intercept, and technique. You're going to need the speed to be able to get to more places to do your thing, and then you'll use the speed to buff your dribbling a little bit in case you teach him a dribble, but I did not. And your pass, obviously, because you want to have some way to get rid of the ball. His stats, as you can see, 939 stamina, not crazy, but not bad either. His high intercept and technique, again, 10,954 intercept as a result. And then higher than 8k dribble and pass, so there are some options there in case you need to get rid of the ball. No one cares about his low ball, nothing. It doesn't help him in any way, manner, shape, or form. Now for skills, he has S Crab Pincer interception, which is his pass cut. It's pretty good. A South American dribble, which he does start with, so if the speed will help there. An A Argentinian duo. Now, if you had a dupe Green Pascal, then teaching him swift sliding tackle and invincible pass, probably a good idea. But if you don't, you can just leave the character with the base 3 skills or just random farmable skills from elsewhere, as long as it's not a shot, which you won't need. And that should be enough for you to frankly just have him there in the central AM position, just absolutely stealing everyone's turns by having 80% pass cut, which will just absolutely demolish white passing. You can basically make the center of the midfield a no-fly zone with this character around, because it's just so difficult to deal with. So if you get him, that's great, and if not, you know, you could have done worse. Now, something that I was considering here is that I don't know what to pull on exactly, and I frankly don't even know if I should pull, but I feel like people are kind of used to me pulling in these banners now. But I don't know that I honestly want that much out of here. So I don't know what to kick at, and I kind of want another shot at some of these players, because I think that Roberto Carlos will definitely make my South American team pretty strong, or an attempt at a South American team. But I'm not like in a hurry to do it, even though I could build that. And I got the red Santana off some of the R plus tickets. So again, I'm just kind of at a loss. So I'll kick 100 at this, see what we get, you know. I have no big expectations. Maybe I get something cool, maybe I don't. I would really like the old red Salinas actually, because I do need his punch, so let's see what we get. Oh, that looks pretty good. Not that good anymore. I would need something great here. Oh, that's an SSR. Cool. Sure. Oh, maybe not. Oh man. Don't troll me, game. The game trolled me almost for sure, right? This game sucks. Alright, we'll go one more, and then that's it. I'm not gonna go crazy on this one. It's nice to see that occasionally, and by occasionally I mean all the time, Clab is just a big old jerk. Whenever Dream Balls are actually involved. Alright, that's great. Anyways, guys, thanks for coming around. Thank you for coming to the channel. If you like what you see, please remember to click like on the video, leave a comment telling me what you thought, what you think about these players, and if you could subscribe to the channel. We're almost at 1,000 subscribers. I think that once we hit 1,000 subscribers, I'll try to do something cool for the channel. I don't know what that is yet. Someone suggested that I just stream a bunch of Dream Cup matches. That's possible, I guess. Maybe something else, I don't know. Let me know in the comments what you think I should do for the 1,000 subscriber anniversary of the channel. And if you have any good idea what I could do. Also, if you're trying to get to my content, if subscribing is not enough, you may want to click the little bell up there at the top somewhere. The little bell ensures that you get notifications when I release something new. So anyways, guys, see you guys later. Take care of yourselves, and I hope your pulls are better than whatever the hell I just had. Take care of yourselves, guys.